Hello and welcome to the Be Heard, Be Brave, Be Free channel, where the focus is on self-development and creating a tribe community of like-minded people that are on a self-exploration experience through this life experience. And we want to encourage and support each other and feel a little bit less alone. My name is Tanya, I'm 52 years old, I live on the east coast of Scotland, and I have pivoted my career from being a qualified accountant working in the financial services and launching my online coaching and therapy business through certifications that I've completed over the past year and the extensive self-development courses and books and podcasts that I have been submerging myself in over the past 20 plus years. So this is an opportunity to share some of those tools, techniques, hints and tips that I have gained insight over my training and my kind of experience of things that worked or didn't work for me. So the Wednesday installment is all about sharing the educational aspects. For those of you that might have followed some of my other content, I'm going through a 6-week exploration of trying different formats and frequencies on this channel, and on a Monday it's about self-reflection, Wednesday education, and then on the Friday it's storytelling. So today I wanted to sort of cover off the power that we can give to words, and so the language we use can be extremely powerful, and it's how to use it in a more kind of intentional and careful way, and also to sort of like become aware of the danger of using labels and defining either us as human beings or certain physical diseases, discomforts within our bodies, to try and see things from a different perspective. And by changing the perspective in which we actually see things, it reduces the intensity of the emotions associated with the words that we're using. So for those of you that have followed some of my earlier content, you will have come across the ladder of looping thoughts. And this is where you've got a thought, then it has a trigger to a feeling or an emotion, and then that sort of informs any action you may take or may not take, depending on what that thought was. And then you possibly have a reinforcement of that original thought, or you create another thought. And when I'm talking about thoughts, it's about words, but also it's about beliefs that we sort of associate. And through the kind of rapid transformational training that I have done, Marisa Peer has got these number of rules of the mind. And one of them is about emotion and logic are kind of two competing aspects. And if there is a battle between the two, if they're fully aligned, perfect, it just supercharges everything. But where the thought, the rational thought that you may have, and the emotion are in conflict, the emotion always wins. And the emotion is what is stored in our subconscious mind, which is not language based, but it's an emotion, feeling based part of our operating system within this kind of human experience. And another thing that Marisa, another quote that she uses is that we get the opportunity to change twice each day. And that is basically, we get to choose our thoughts, and then we get to change how we're feeling and what action we're taking as a result. So this is where becoming aware of the thoughts, the language that we're using, the language patterns, and accepting them for what they are, and then articulating them and then challenging them, it gives us that ability to reframe or potentially delete and erase permanently. Through some other courses that I've sort of like done 20 odd years ago, Mind Store for Life, Jack Black used to use the kind of phrase, delete that program. And this is where if you had negative language patterns, it was about programming your mind to stop using that negative language pattern and then replace it with a more positive, empowering, encouraging language kind of dynamic. And the kind of two that I'm going to sort of refer to at the moment is the kind of use of my life experience, my my money, my phone, my book, my whatever. We are associating that belongs to us. And in certain relationships, then we also refer to my friends, my family, my husband, my partner, when in actual fact, you don't own any of those relationships. You have a relationship with those individuals, but you don't have an ownership of them. And as a result, referring to them as their family, their husband, their partner, their book, their phone, we're creating a little bit of a kind of distance between what we're referring to as the object or the person and our kind of association with them. And that way it diffuses any kind of intensity of feeling emotion that may exist when you're sort of using that kind of language pattern. And that is probably more pronounced where you've got like a physical discomfort in your body. So say for instance, you've got your elbow is aching. If you sort of say my elbow is aching as opposed to the elbow is aching, it creates a different kind of connection and association. You're still stating a fact, the elbow is aching, but you're not then referring to it as my elbow is aching. Therefore, you're able to sort of like see things from a different perspective, and you can actually make a decision and take an action to resolve the ache in the elbow. So I'm sort of probably using an oversimplistic example, but this is, we tend to sort of like, so for instance, if someone is being diagnosed with cancer, if you refer to it as my cancer, then you're taking ownership of it. Where if you refer to it as the cancer that my body has got, then you're taking a different kind of view and vantage point of that. So then you would take different actions and you would feel differently towards the cancer. And I'm not necessarily saying that it's just cancer. It can be anything that you want to, that you personally may be experiencing, the depression, the anxiety. You can create a disconnect between them, and then you can see them more kind of objectively. Now, the other kind of label that we can use is I am anxious, I am nervous, I am depressed. And it's about changing that language that you want when there is a statement that you're saying I am, you want it to have a powerful association. You want to say I am smart rather than I am stupid. Because if you're constantly using negative language, then of course your mood and your state is going to sort of like be depressed, be low, be in a negative kind of spiral. And it's about how by using the right language or becoming aware of the language that we use, then we can actually influence and change that. And by changing the language we use, we change the meaning that we associate to that language. And at the same time, we're able to then change our mindset. And by changing our mindset, we can change our kind of mood, our state, and how we feel about ourselves. Because we have got the power to change our thinking. As Marisa mentions, we get to change our thinking every day if we become aware of it, and if we choose that it's not the language that I want to be using. I want to be kind and compassionate and loving to myself, because that is our job. We come into this human life experience, and the one job that we've got is to take care of this physical body, which has got a mental, emotional and physical aspects of it, and we need to holistically take care of this body and this life experience that we're going through. This is our fundamental job. No one else is going to make us feel happy and joyful. It is our job to do that. And it's about using the right language to enable us to feel encouraged, supported, and empowered to take the right steps to progress our life in the direction that we want, so we can live our best life and thrive through this human experience. Now, there is another quote that Peter Crone, the mind architect, has used, which I think is absolutely, I think it's beautiful, but it might take you a few kind of listens of it. And this is, what happened happened, and it couldn't have happened any other way because it didn't. And that basically is sort of like just reaffirming that there is no point in blaming or berating ourselves for choices and decisions that have happened in our past, because we can't go back and undo that. All we can actually do is become aware of how we're talking to ourselves. So the self-talk, the self-chatter that we have towards ourselves, and accept that we are where we are, but it's within our power and our gift to actually improve things if where we are and what we're experiencing isn't living up to what our expectations or what we really truly desire and aspire for. And this is where becoming aware, acknowledging, accepting, articulating the words of what we're thinking, what we're feeling, and then the actions that we want to take will actually help us to strive in a kind of positive direction and stop that negative spiral and make it a positive one instead. So the language that we use is super powerful, and the labels that we apply to ourselves. In some of my earlier diaries, I have mentioned that I have been a people pleaser, an overgiver. I had no healthy boundaries, and there was a terminology that sort of like defines a lot of that behavior, and that is high functioning codependent. But I am not a high functioning codependent. I used to demonstrate the traits and behaviors and patterns of that label, but in actual fact, I am acknowledging, becoming aware of all of that, and I am making changes. So I am not taking on that label. And there's a lot of people that may be feeling depressed because their body is in deep rest, and you need to sort of take the time to go inwards, be compassionate and kind towards yourself in order for you to actually really feel into what is your purpose, what is your meaning, what brings you joy and lightness and happiness in your life, and tap into those. And by doing that, then you can get yourself out of that depression. And I know that there will be some individuals that will have a chemical imbalance in their brain or in their hormones, and they require some medication. But the vast majority of people don't, because there is extensive trials that have happened and a lot of kind of medical journal and research papers that have been written about antidepressants actually only help maybe 5% of people that take them, where the other 95% are actually navigating life as a zombie or a reduced version of themselves, because the medication is clouding their judgment and their ability to live and function in a meaningful and joyful way. So 95% of people are potentially taking antidepressants, and it's not making them feel any better. Where you think, becoming aware of your thoughts and the self-chatter that you've got the power within you to shift the way you think and feel and then act. So our brains are a much more powerful tool to be able to direct it in the way that you want to sort of like head and progress through life. And through this kind of self-development, it's about stop labeling ourselves as being anxious, being depressed, or being ADHD is another one where we sort of like label ourselves, and it's almost that label is going to define who we are. No, we are human beings, and we've got the power to change the way that we think, the way that we feel, and the way that we act. And it's about us embracing this opportunity to learn and grow and develop, and in so doing, living a more fulfilled, empowering life. Where if you just label yourself as having a symptom, having a disease, then you're almost keeping yourself stuck in this kind of I am a victim, that you blame the kind of environment around you or the circumstances of your life, when in actual fact, we are where we are. And as Peter Crone is saying, like what happened, and it couldn't have happened any other way because it didn't. We are where we are now, and we've got a choice. And as I close off these videos, I say we've got choices in life, so choose wisely. And this is why it is important to choose wisely, because if you think positive, encouraging, empowering thoughts, then you're going to feel better. And then you'll take better actions, you'll make better decisions. And then you are the co-creator of your reality, rather than you feeling that things are happening to you. You can actually control how you react to the circumstances that are happening around you. I'm not saying that we've got the control to control everything that happens in our life. It's how do we rise up and how do we behave in the face of adversity, in the face of challenging situations. And we've got this innate ability within us to control the mind, control the self-chatter, control the words and the thoughts that we actually use. Now, I hope there was some kind of helpful insights within this kind of video, and if you do like the content, I know I'm developing and trying to fine-tune my kind of delivery and style in these, and over the coming weeks I'm probably going to start introducing some kind of 7-day challenges where we can work together in order to actually see bite-sized little activities that we're going to do over a 7-day period to see the progress that we're encountering in our own lives, to sort of like learn fast and adjust and like tweak and revise, because it's all about experimenting. It's all about seeing what works, what doesn't work, and then let go of what doesn't work and embrace the things that genuinely do work. So if you like this kind of content, please feel free to like and subscribe and join this tribe where we're going to support and encourage each other. And if not, that's totally fine. Thank you for watching if you stuck around to this point. And for those of you that have been following the kind of content, or for anyone that's watching right now, just go out and seize the day. Have the most amazing day. And remember, there's always choices in life, so choose wisely. Until the next one, bye.